Tuesday edition of Two Dudes Brews and Books. My name is Jeremy, and with me as always is Jeff. Morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good morning, Jeremy. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Today's a kind of a little bit of a special podcast for us, is we're going to lead you in to the 11 o'clock Negative Man release party. So sit back and relax and let the two of us kill some time this morning.
I'd say you're all in good hands, but, well, never mind.
That'd be lying.
Who knows what could happen?
For a lot of you, this might be the first time that you've actually been a participant in something involving our company. So the first thing to do is let's introduce ourselves to everybody. Again, my name is Jeremy Croston, and the other author here is Jeff Trelowitz.
That's me.
And we've been at this for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
We're up to what, about 6 books between the two of us, 6 or 7 that are out there on Amazon right now?
I think it's more than that, because you've got the whole Ragnarok on Ice series.
That's 3.
You've got 2 for the werewolf. I'm drawing a blank right now.
I've got 7 now with the negative.
Yeah, and you just said between the two of us we have 6. I'm like, no, we don't. Between the two of us we have 9 then.
There we go.
Here at Two Dudes Brews and Books, we're not good at math.
Hey, listen, my wife will be the first to tell you that when it comes to the number side of the thing, she handles that, and I just keep writing.
Nothing wrong with that. I would say the same thing, but I can't.
Well, Sydney the dog is in charge of numbers for you.
And we're all screwed.
So, Jeff, let's start with your first book that you wrote last year, and it was released in, February last year? Everything Comes Full Circle?
Actually, it came out, very early February, I believe. So, Everything Comes Full Circle is a kind of comedy drama ensemble book about what happens when a group of high school theater department kids grow up. They haven't seen each other in 9 years, and they're all asked to come back and perform the same show because their hometown just built a theater and they wanted to do something special, so they're bringing back the most successful show. And it's really all about how no matter how far apart you are from your friends and how long you go from seeing them, the second you get back together, it's like no time has passed.
I will let everybody know out there that is an all-ages read. It's very funny. It's got a diverse set of characters. It's got a little bit of something for everybody. And
except F-bombs.
Except what?
F-bombs.
That's true. And if you haven't checked it out yet, it's available on Amazon for the Kindle and also paperback. I got started writing a little earlier than Jeff. This coming June 2016 will be my 2-year anniversary. My first series, as Jeff mentioned a little earlier, was Ragnarok on Ice. It's Norse mythology based. And it's, a little bit of an action-adventure, I'd say. Right, Jeff?
Action-adventure, and like you said, mixed with a lot of mythology.
Yeah. Very steeped in Norse mythology. A lot of names will probably be a little difficult to pronounce, but again, that kind of falls into our all-ages reader group there. Feel free to let, any... I'd say teenager appropriate if you have teens or anything.
And what they might like about it is a lot of it deals with characters that they sort of know, but it's a different take on it. Because there's Thor, there's Loki. If the kids love like the Marvel series, the Thor and Loki that you'll meet are not those Thor and Loki, but it's along the same lines.
Yeah. I try to stay more true to the actual mythology from back in the day than more of the Marvel comics take on it. But I obviously put a little bit of a more modern twist on it, so it wouldn't be a total bore.
Yep.
From there, then, our next phase was a little bit more adult-oriented with the Paranormal Contact series, which I don't know what genre you would put it in. It's funny, it's witty, it's got a lot of, obviously, ghost story aspects to it, and it's definitely for the adult reader in the terms that there is a jump in language. But yeah, if you enjoy like those Comedy Central skits, and if you enjoy shows like the Once You Go Chasing Ghosts, Paranormal Contact, that series is right up your alley.
Yeah. For those that don't know, again, I'm Jeff. I'm the writer of the Paranormal Contact series. Jeremy pretty much described it as far as what genre it is. Obviously, it's steeped in science fiction because it does involve, ghosts and chasing after spirits and things that you can't necessarily see. The first one deals with aliens. There's a little demon story that goes involved with it as well. So no matter what you believe in as far as the paranormal, there is something in there for you. To me, the paranormal part of it, even though it's in the title, is not the main focus of it. To me, as a writer, it's about the connections that people make, and then the ghost stories kind of sprinkle around it.
I would definitely agree with that. It definitely has a lot of, like, the relationships between Greg and Jason, and then Sean and Brad. And then you add in the, romantic subplot stories, with Greg and Katie, and Jason and Tanya. Yeah, there's so much good character building in it. And, like you said, the ghost aspect of it is the overall theme, but everything that happens along there is very much dealing with the people who the book stars and features. So yeah, definitely for those of you who are interested in a more adult read, Jeff's Paranormal Contact series will be right up your alley.
I agree. And then you've got your other series,
The Inglewood Chronicles, which was it was kind of inspired by my brother, but it's like a supernatural western. It takes place in New Mexico. It's got werewolves and vampires and
oh my
Frankenstein monsters. It's got a lot of that stuff, but that's not really the point of the book. It's a mystery, sort of criminal drama, criminal story. But yeah, the characters are all the supernatural ones from, all the different legends.
And so that brings us up to date with what is technically out there now. And then you've got what you've got coming out in just a couple of minutes at this point. And then you've got what I'm working on, which is our next phase.
I'll say Two Dudes Brews and Books is entering a transition where we have, had some bumps in the road with our writing and everything. And it's taken us some time to really perfect our style. Earlier this year, Jeff and I had meeting of the minds where we're like, what are we both passionate about? What are we both, 100% committed to? And that's where phase 3 comes in, where we take more of a dark turn on our previously lighthearted stories, and we're going towards more, what's the word I'm looking for, Jeff?
Just, I would say, like we said, a new direction.
We want to come across a little bit more as ourselves, and we're both, we both enjoy humor, don't get us wrong, But starting with the Negative Man, as you read, there'll be definitely a more ominous sense to the story than what there has been in previous offerings from either of us.
Oh, I completely agree with that statement.
Jeff has read the book. He was one of my beta readers, and he knows the story. So when he says something, he is speaking on full authority for me because like I said, he's gone through everything, and he's helped me numerous spots figure out what direction to go with and everything. But the Negative Man starts off with like your normal superhero. When I started writing Jeff, I had this thought in my mind of like the beginning of Batman Begins, like creating a whole city and superhero, mythology from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be dark. I wanted Pacific Station, where the Negative Man takes place. It's in a bad spot right now. It is not good. And our main hero, the Dark Lion, he's almost pushed up against the wall at this point in time when the book begins. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's completely accurate. He's kind of out of options because there's only so much he can do.
And what I want the readers to get when they're reading this is the book takes place from the Dark Lion's sidekick, Jericho Staley, from his point of view. And as you're seeing things unfold from Jericho's point of view, I want you to understand the desperation that the Dark Lion is showing. He is a man who's been doing this for a very long time. He's been a hero for, over 20 years. And it's starting to wear on him. And the fact that it's not getting better after this long, it's taking him to a dark place. He's now asking questions that you wouldn't think a hero would be asking of themselves.
Yeah. And it's not only about him that's struggling with it, because all of it's going on, even the police chief has no idea how to handle and how to get his city under control.
And like I said, that's just where the story begins. Somebody had messaged me on Facebook and asked, will we find out how Pacific Station got to this point? Yes, we will. But just not in this book. So if you're wondering, is there going to be overall explanations? Yes. But there will not be any real back history into how this all came about in this book. That will take place in book 2. Jeff, is one of the beta. When you read the book, what was one of your favorite parts without giving too much away?
I can't.
Favorite things that might have been taking place.
Just how far people will go to make things right.
Yeah, I couldn't have said any better myself. My friend Karen, another beta reader of mine, when she put the book down for the last time, her exact words to me were, as I read this, the question that I kept asking myself, that I think all the characters kept asking themselves, what's the difference between good and evil and right and wrong?
And that's definitely something that's explored throughout.
As I'm also sure some of you have noticed, there is a Negative Man Facebook page that was our creation. I hope you enjoy his antics and his views on the world. He plays a part in the book, but again, this is the first of a trilogy. So if you're reading this book expecting, to see a lot of the Negative Man, he's there, but just keep in mind that there will be more to the story in book 2.
And what gave us so much with the Negative Man was how we were able to use him in marketing in ways that we've never been able to use a character before. For those of you that have heard this podcast before, the Negative Man has had an impact on this podcast in the point that he's been heard, that we've never been able to do something like that before.
And that's what phase 3 of our writing is all about. Which brings me to my next point on the agenda, which is your offering to phase 3, Time Traveler's Journal.
Yep, that is the project that I am working on right now. It is a complete departure from Everything Comes Full Circle. It's a complete departure from the Paranormal Contact series.
Oh, complete 180-degree switch.
And something that we said about Jeremy's book is also true in my book about how far people will go to make things right.
I'm one of the few people, I think, that has read any of the book that you've worked on so far. You've sent me a few chapters, and number one, it's great. Two totally different situations, two totally different, philosophies going on. But your main character, for his own reasons, has like this deep burning, desire to do something. And like you said, how far is he willing to go to do this? And, are there any lines he's willing, to cross? And that's prominent from the very first page of the book.
Yeah, he's the most complex character I have ever written. And I think I'm enjoying him so much that more than any other character I've written, he's been so prominent in every scene. I'm just finishing chapter 7, and chapter 7 is the first chapter he does not appear in once. And I made that a point to kind of let people almost put their guard down before everything's going to get very chaotic from chapter 8 on.
Yeah. What I love about the main character, actually the main characters, because there's also another main character, and folks, I know we're being very vague about this, but it's for a good reason, and we'll, in future podcasts, bring you more up to speed. But I love the interactions between the two main characters because they're at two different points in time in their lives, yet something has drawn them together, and everything up until these points has almost shaped these people to proceed in the book.
And like you said, you've read a couple of the chapters, but you haven't seen the last couple of chapters where the interaction between the two of them has increased tenfold. And I think that, again, while there's a main story going on, it is about the way people connect that I like to get across as a writer.
And that's where phase 3 really picks up. It's almost looking at I want to say, the inner person. And we've said it a couple of times, but it's what will people do when their backs are up against the wall and you have no choice but to that fight or flight instinct.
Yep.
And our books go to some pretty rough places, but I think the two offerings that we're providing, Negative Man today and Time Traveler's Journal, in the first part of 2016, late spring, early summer, I think you were thinking.
Late spring.
I think the next two entries that we're providing you are our best written, are most interesting, and really will set the tone for what our company provides going forward.
Yeah, I completely agree with you 1,000%.
And And for all of you today who are enjoying the podcast and are, going to be taking part in the event, kudos need to be given right now to Jeff. The Negative Man marketing campaign the Negative Man Facebook page was his idea. The using of the podcast, his idea. The videos that you've seen, I mean, Jeff and our, multimedia company, 67 Studios Production, at this time, wherever you're sitting, just give the man a round of applause. He put together one hell of a campaign.
Again, it's how far am I willing to go for the benefit of our company? There is no limit.
And I want all of you to stick around after the podcast. We're going to be giving away some prizes here. We're going to be giving away some copies of the Kindle version. The grand prize today is going to be the Negative Man starter kit. It's going to be a signed copy of the Negative Man paperback, one of the bookmarks, a button, and a signed 4x6 of the Negative Man himself, because he's such an egotistical maniac.
Yeah, I love the idea of giving away stuff like this because we want our name out there. So we want you, the new readers or the old readers, to get immersed in our world.
And as we move forward, in our next focus after today will be Jeff finishing his book, and then us putting together a plan for the Time Traveler's Journals. I promise you today that going forward, we will continue to push the boundaries of innovative marketing, and I have already started the wheels turning on a marketing campaign for the Time Traveler's Journals that will hopefully blow all of you out of the water, and that you will be even more excited than you have been for the Negative Man. I really am excited for that, and like I said before, my promise to you is to keep pushing the envelope, keep being innovative, because as independents, we don't have a big company behind us, pumping dollars in. Everything that you see either comes from my mind or Jeff's, and everything that you look at, we have done. And it means a lot to both of us that you appreciate the effort that we put in.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, the Negative Man is officially out there on Amazon. For all of you that pre-ordered it, should be coming to your Kindles the next time you check in. For all of you who are ready to win a freebie, you cheap bastards, the first contest will be popping up here soon. Throughout the day, I'm going to put some stories up about, Jeff and I's collaboration on the book, some more quotes from the story, and, some more behind-the-scenes looks at the making of the Negative Man. But please, as we are winding down, go on Amazon, click the search bar, type in Two Dudes Brews and Books, check out all of our previous offerings. We've got a book out there for every reader, and we hope that you will take the time to check it out.
And also, follow our blogs, because I'm not going to lie to you, we're entertaining dudes.
And that's what we're about. Yes, we're authors, but we're also bloggers, we're podcasters, and at the end of the day, if somebody emailed us and said, hey, you two made me laugh, that would almost be as good as somebody emailing us saying, hey, I bought your book, because buying our book actually helps us pay our bills, whereas laughter is nice in its own way.
If only we could get paid for making people laugh.
This is true. Once again, my name is Jeremy Croston. This is Jeff Trelowitz. We are Two Dudes Brews and Books. We are about to turn you over to the Facebook event page and the start of the 5 hours of the Negative Man. Jeff, any last minute words or? thoughts that you'd like to convey before we sign out?
Just stick with us. We are constantly improving as authors, and we will put out the best books that you've never heard of in the next couple of months.
That's right. Negative Man's happening now. Time Traveler's Journals in a few months. Like I said, stick around. What you've witnessed the past few months is only the beginning. We're trekking forward.
We will see you in the group page. Have a good one, everybody.
Later, guys.